The shouting started like thunder in the middle of the night. I was half asleep when my door burst open, slamming against the wall so hard the frame shook. My stepdad stumbled in, drunk, eyes bloodshot and furious. Stepdad slurring, "Think you're a man now?" Talking back to me in my house. Before I could even sit up, he grabbed me by the collar and yanked me off the bed. I hit the floor, my head bouncing against the hardwood. Pain exploded through my skull. I tried to scramble away, but he was faster. His boot came down hard on my shin. The sound was sickening, a crack that still echoes in my head to this day. My leg bent the wrong way. I screamed so loud I thought my throat would tear. Blood trickled from my knee where bone pressed against skin. Me screaming, "Mom, please, help me." She appeared in the doorway. My mother, the woman who gave me life. She didn't rush to me, didn't shield me. She just stood there, arms crossed, watching. Her face was stone cold, her eyes unreadable. In that moment, as I lay bleeding on the floor, begging for her, I realized something worse than pain. I was utterly, terrifyingly alone. The neighbors called 911 after hearing my screams. The sirens arrived like salvation. My stepdad disappeared before they entered, but I was carried out on a stretcher, my leg twisted, my body shaking. At the hospital, the doctor frowned, his eyes scanning my injuries. "Doctor, this doesn't look like a fall. What happened to you?" I turned my head and saw my mom sitting in the corner. Her arms folded, her lips tight, her eyes narrowed like knives, silently warning me not to say a word. Weakly, I fell down the stairs. The doctor didn't believe me. I could see it in his face. But without my confession, he couldn't push further. I spent months in a hospital bed. My stepdad never visited. My mom came once, only to drop off a bag of clothes. No hug, no hand-holding, no apology, just silence. I used to cry myself to sleep, not because of the pain in my leg, but because of the pain of betrayal. The woman who was supposed to protect me chose him instead. That was the night my childhood ended. When I finally healed enough to walk, the house didn't feel like home anymore. It felt like a prison where ghosts of my screams still lingered in the walls. On my 18th birthday, I packed my things. A small duffel bag. A few clothes. Nothing else. Mom coldly, "So you're really leaving?" Me bitterly, "You left me first." Her face didn't change. No sadness, no regret. She turned away, leaving me standing there with my bag. I walked out of that house and never looked back. I thought leaving would free me, but the nightmares followed. Every creak in a floorboard, every slam of a door, every time I smelled alcohol. It dragged me back to that night. Still, I swore I'd never be weak again. Freedom came with a price, poverty. I worked 2 jobs just to afford rent for a tiny room with peeling paint and a mattress on the floor. By day, I stocked shelves at a grocery store. By night, I washed dishes in a restaurant where the steam burned my skin. I ate instant noodles, skipped meals, and counted every cent. While other people my age were going to college parties, I was scrubbing grease off pans. But I had one thing they didn't: hunger. Hunger to prove I wasn't worthless. Hunger to turn my pain into fuel. Every dollar saved was a brick in the wall I was building, between who I was and who I was becoming. Years later, I had my own small business. Nothing fancy, just stable. Enough money to breathe, to live without fear of eviction. One night, out of curiosity, I typed their names into Facebook. There they were. My stepdad, smiling in front of a new truck. My mom beside him, arm wrapped around his waist. Posts about family first and hard work pays off. I stared at the screen, rage boiling. The man who broke my bones was now respected. The woman who abandoned me was now proud of him. And me? I was still carrying the scars. That's when I realized I couldn't just move on. I had to make them pay. I hired a private investigator. It cost me thousands, but what came back was worth every cent. My stepdad's contracting business was a house of cards. He cut corners, used cheap materials, overcharged clients. Worse, my mom was involved. Her signature was on invoices, tax forms, even fake safety reports. They weren't just liars. They were thieves. Criminals. I spread the documents out on my table, each one a nail in their coffin. For the first time since that night at 3 a.m., I felt power. I didn't strike all at once. No, revenge tastes better slow. I mailed anonymous packets to his biggest clients. Photos of rotten wood, fake invoices, hidden camera shots of shoddy work. I tipped off reporters. One article turned into 3. Soon, whispers spread through town. Can he be trusted? Clients pulled out. Contracts canceled. Lawsuits started piling up. It was like watching termites eat through wood. Slowly, silently, until the whole structure collapsed. The final blow came when regulators stepped in. His license was revoked. Court orders drained their accounts. They sold their cars, their jewelry, everything. One night, I got a voicemail. Mom, voice trembling. Do you know what's happening to us? We're losing everything. Please, if you know anything. I deleted it. No reply. She had heard my screams once and stayed silent. Now it was my turn. Their house, the same house where I begged for help, went into foreclosure. I drove by one night. The lawn was overgrown. Windows broken. A foreclosure sign stood crooked in the yard. I sat in my car, staring at the empty windows. I could almost see 15-year-old me, lying on the carpet, blood soaking into the fibers. Me whispering, "You took everything from me. Now I've taken everything from you." For the first time in years, I smiled. People always ask, did I tell them it was me? Did I confront them face to face? The answer is no. Because silence hurts more. Every day they sit in the ruins of their lives, wondering who destroyed them. Every night they ask themselves what went wrong. They'll never know the truth. Unless one day I show up, look my mom in the eyes, and whisper, "Remember 3 a.m.? She watched me bleed. He broke my bones. I broke their future. If you were me, would you have stayed silent, or told them the truth?